Sure. I was born and raised in Mississippi, grew up in Meridian, Mississippi, and my family is from Clark County. Of course, went to college and medical school in Mississippi, University of Mississippi in Oxford, and then, of course, Jackson, Mississippi for medical school. Went to into the Navy at that point, did my residency training in family medicine there, and then came to North Louisiana where I set up a medical practice and have lived ever since until I came to Congress in 2009, served for 8 years, 4 terms. Then I went on to Health and Human Services, then the Department of Commerce, and now I'm in the Office of the Chief of Staff at the White House. Well, the challenges, Frank, have been unprecedented. I mean, think about it. We've not seen a pandemic like this in a century. And the first thing the president did, which was brilliant, was to shut down travel from China because we know that the first outbreak was in Wuhan. And in doing so, he saved tens of thousands of lives. But something this contagious eventually was going to make its way to our shores, and it did. And so the president's approach was to shut down activity here, the economy itself, in order to slow the spread so we didn't overwhelm our healthcare facilities across America, and also to give us time to generate the personal protective equipment necessary, the ventilators, all the things needed to respond to the pandemic, and then ultimately get a head start on development of therapeutics and vaccines. And now that we're beginning to open through phases, we're getting people back to work and back to school, the economy's recovering, we're finding better techniques and better recovery rates when it comes to people who are ill with this. We've learned who we need to protect mostly, which is elderly people and those with comorbid healthcare conditions. So we really have every reason, Frank, to be optimistic. The president has taken unprecedented steps, working alongside Congress and the task force to be sure that we finance all of these wonderful tools that we've put out there to, again, shore up our economy, to make sure our education system is doing well, and to preserve the health of Americans across the board. Yes. Sure. Well, look, of course, the media loves to dwell on anything negative that comes out and totally ignore the positive things. So I've just gone through a litany of things, and they continue to roll out. We're soon to, not only do we have remdesivir now, but we have dexamethasone that's saving lives. And we're expecting good news to come out about plasma, which is infusion of antibodies from people who've had the illness. And we've got other things coming that are saving lives. But the media, of course, wants to dwell on anything negative. Oh, there's not enough testing in some places. Well, heck, we have more testing by logarithmic levels than any other nation in the world. We're leading everybody, including China, on all of these areas. And so the media is going to do what the media does, but the president is looking out for the American people and definitely for our Mississippians. And he's working closely with Governor Tate Reeves and others there to be sure that that we move safely into these phase reopenings, that everyone is protected through their, whatever protective gear necessary, face coverings, certainly good hand washing techniques and distancing techniques to sort of armament all of the citizens of Mississippi to best protect themselves and their loved ones. All right. Well, Mississippi is like the rest of the southern states that we're having, of course, at least in the previous weeks. We've had an increase in cases, but because, and that of course should be expected as we begin to open back up. You're going to have some outbreaks, but as we have begun to deal with that, you're now seeing the curves flatten, and we begin to see decline in cases, and of course case fatality rates have been declining. So it's looking very positive, and of course Mississippi has plenty of healthcare capacity to handle whatever comes down the road. So it really looks like we're beginning to see very positive things on the horizon for Mississippi and really all across America. Fantastic, Frank. Great to talk with you today.